Hi, 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 hi. My name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? As you can see, we've moved into a new place and I hope you like it. We've gone for the orange look. I'm not sure how Poo Ninja will feel about this look. Let's see if he likes it or not. We'll find out shortly, I'm sure. David Belcher, thank you so much for that super chat. I'm going to give you one of these right there. Thanks for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, why not get a Soundhole Sniffer t-shirt and mug from teespring.com. I will put the link in the chat right now. I think I did already. Well, I'll put it in there again. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing great. So let's say hi to everybody. First in the house was Lisa Gleaton. How you doing, Lisa? Good to see you. She says hi, Aaron, and everyone coming to the chat. Awesome. And there's the David Belcher. Good afternoon, Aaron and everyone in the chat. I hope your week is off to a good start. Yes, very good. Very productive day so far, David. As you can see, things are going good. And Lisa says, whoop, whoop, whoop. Enjoy, David B. And Zane has a question. I'll come back to that. If you put a Q next to the question, I will put a star there. And then once they've said hello, I'll wind back to the questions that I was asked. And... oh, did I just jump ahead? I missed some people. Excuse me. Lee is here. How you doing, Lee? How are things going? Have you been to any open mics lately? Have you bought any guitars lately? Zane says, hi, everyone in England. Rosanna says, good evening, Aaron, everyone here in the chat. Happy Monday. Good. Good to see you, Rosanna, as always. Poo Ninja says, preemptive thumbs up, folks. Hey, wait till I do something to give me a thumbs up. Don't just do it anyway. There's no value in that. Oh, okay. Oh, nice video this week, Poo Ninja. I enjoyed that. Poo Ninja did some shredding this week. Maybe he'll give me some shredding lessons one day. Patsy Smith says, hope you have a lovely holiday, David. Where's David going? Oh, he's going on vacation in a couple more days. I didn't even show his super chat. There it is. Happy Monday, vacation time in a couple more days. Very cool. Poo Ninja says, let the algorithm know what a fun place this is. Thank you. I appreciate the support, Poo. I do. Poo, I do. Lisa has a question. I shall star it. Lee says, happy holidays. Nice. Oh, what's green screen? What's a green screen, Lee? I'm not sure what that is. Can you explain what that is? Green screen? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I'll move on to the next comment. There we go. Pooh likes it. I didn't think you'd like it, Pooh Ninja, because I'm not in outer space. Although we've considered moving to outer space, so maybe next week I'll be in outer space if you want me to be. Zane says, lovely, Aaron. It looks authentic. He's hinting at a guitar. Zane is a very clever person, I've discovered from the email conversation we had. Jim says, hello from Thunderdome, Vermont. Several thunderstorms, wind and hail this evening. Hope I can get dinner on the table for the power outage. I hope the power outage doesn't happen while we're live, Jim, so you can enjoy the show. Hi, Alan. How you doing? Oh, David's off to Texas to see the grandkids. That's awesome. I hope you have a great time, David. And do remember, there's several good guitar stores in Texas. I've never been to Texas. There's one place on the list that I really want to go to. Always wanted to go there. Did the LA, California, Nashville, Chicago. Never done Texas. I want to ask Poo Ninja if he liked the UK song in the Eurovision Song Contest. Well, what was that exactly? I missed that, thankfully. I just finished restoring the little parlor on my acutely vintage romantic guitar. Lee, send me a video of you playing a romantic song on that guitar and we can play it on the show. Orange screen? Lee, I'm offended. Do you know how long it took me today to paint this wall? And I'm not good at DIY. I would usually pay someone to do it. It took me literally, well, quite a while to paint that wall that color and hang that picture as straight as it is. So, but please, watch what you say, Lee. Alan likes the colors. Thank you for the compliment, Alan. I appreciate it. Oh, Spaceman. There was a UK song called Spaceman, but Poo Ninja said Norway was the best. Who's got a beer in their hand? I've got half a liter of water, Lee. And I'm going to see if I can finish it before the end of the program. Because we had that chat last week about singing and drinking lots of water. So I've been having a gallon a day this week. John is here. I made it a beautiful day in Kansas City finally. So John has a question. John, type your question in the chat for me and I'll do them in order. You know what I've done? I've just gone through and starred everything, which is not what I meant to do. That's okay. If you put a Q next before a Q colon, then I can search by Q colon. Let me see if I can do that. Yes. So then the questions come up. So make sure you put a Q and a colon and then the question, and then I can search Q colon and it comes up as a question for the program. I also want to show you a tuner that I bought. Another, that's right, another tuner. Can you believe it? So I may do that. Let's see how we go. Let's do the questions, and then if I got time, I'll show you this tuner that I bought. It's pretty cool what it does. So Zane says, is it worth it to register online on NAMM? Thanks. Okay, Zane, I need more information. So first of all, are you going to the NAMM show? I am not going, but let me know if you're going. And then second of all, register. So if you're going, you would register online. Yes. If you don't register online, when you get there, you can register in person, but then you have to line up. And if you get there like one of the first days when the vendors are setting up, then that's okay. That's fine because you'll be there early. There'll be no one around. You can just register. If you go when not the public, but if you go when everyone goes, basically on the opening day, you'd have to line up for a while because everybody's registering, right? That makes sense. So my advice though is just to register online anyway, because it will just save you time. When you get there, you can go straight in. So I would register online. If you're saying that you're not going and register online to access the site, yeah, I tried to do that, but it's not possible. You can only register online if you're going, I believe. I wanted to look at the map. I wanted to download the app and look at the map on there, and it wouldn't let me, I don't think. Although you can access the map from the website, so that's good. David said, not yet, Lee. Got my own single malt. Looks great, says Paul. Thank you, Paul. Jim, the colours look like cantaloupe and blueberries. See, now you're making yourself hungry. Lee says, that works, David. They're drinking. That's fine. That's fine. Just remember, there's a big rule. There's a big rule about drinking. All right? Never drink and search reverb.com. That's my law around here. Because only bad things can happen. Or should I say, only good things should happen. John says, I love the colour. I have a bedroom and a car that colour. Very nice. Those are the colours on my screen too. And Ninja says, just 1.5 litres of coffee, but my day is 3/4 way over. The eclipse really cuts our daily power harvest during the full moon. I don't think you are on the moon, Pooh, because your videos look like you're in a bedroom in Ohio. Am I right? just a wild guess there. Zane says online from... Right, so I don't think that you can. So I downloaded the app and it would not let me log in. I have a username password from previous shows and it wouldn't let me log into the app. I guess because I haven't registered. I guess if you register, then it will allow you to access all that content, all those features and contact the vendors and things like that. However, you can go onto the website. I'm going to do it right now so we can look at it together. You can go onto the website like this and surf around, and you can access here the vendors that are attending, which is really cool. So here's let's see, show directory. John, I see your question. I'm going to get to that today. That's a good question about the Martin guitar. So I'm not sure where it is. There's usually a list. There's the map where you can see who's going. There's usually an exhibitor list as well. Of course, I can never find stuff while I'm live because it's way too stressful. But here we go. Here's a map, right, of each floor. So it shows you where, like, the food and drink is. Am I on the right page? It looks different. But it doesn't show you... Look, this is for Lee. If you go to the NAMM show, you can... Yeah, this is the right. This is it. I thought it might be summer. It's not summer. This is the NAMM show. So if you go to NAMM show, very importantly, you can log in and you can access where the beer is. immediately. So you can plan your trip around the beer. Or coffee, if you're Poo Ninja. I think Poo Ninja prefers coffee. Or is it tea? Not sure. And then the badges is where you pick up your badges right there. I want to see who is attending. It's not on there. Let me see. I can just find this here. So acoustic guitars. Is this it? Why doesn't it tell me who's actually there? It's not very helpful, is it? I think I'm doing something wrong. There is a page here that tells you a list of who's going. If you see it, tell me in the chat, because you might be faster than me. Show directory. Company or brand? So Martin. There we go. Why doesn't it just show me a whole list? Why have I got to search? I think there is a way to see a whole list. But there we go. Martin Guitar are going. And does it show you on the map where they are? No. Oh, 5602. You click that. There we go. So you can play. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will show us. So you can go ahead and come on here and figure out who's going to be there. Let's see if we zoom in, if it does that. Here we go. Yeah. So this is how you do it. Right. So you can zoom in and you can basically like virtually walk around, right? So you can highlight over it. You see? I wonder what that means. Multiple brands. Does that mean they haven't sold that booth yet? So Jack Trip will be there. Jack Trip do this device where you can jam over the internet in real time. If I was going, I'd be talking to them. You're gonna make me jealous now. I knew this would happen. I didn't book the NAMM show because I'm trying to save money after not working for 2 years. I actually thought to myself in June I might get some gigs, and I do. I have a wedding and then a private party that weekend. So it kind of worked out how I wanted it to. But of course, now I'm looking at the map. I wish I was going. Graph Tech. And I think more people are going too. Like, I thought Fishman weren't going. I thought they had like a private room just for meetings. A lot of people were going to do that. A lot of companies were going to go there to see their colleagues and friends and their networking, the dealers, of course. And they were going to just get like a private room. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they even get a private room in the hotel across the way. And they just invite people into the room in the hotel and show them the new products in private, which actually makes a lot of sense because you haven't got a lot of foot traffic coming by, right? But now it seems that Fishman have a booth. So it seems to me that suddenly a lot more people are going. And not everyone's going. I don't think Boss are going, Fender aren't going, PRS. But a lot of the companies that I thought were not going to go are now going. So I think it'll be a bigger event than we expected. But I'm not expecting a ton of new gear. And I'm also not expecting, I'm not expecting huge releases of this one. But I think maybe NAMM gave out some discounts. I don't know. But I do know that they email me to say, hey, do you want to go? And they never do that. You still have to pay unless you go with a brand company. But I got an email inviting me to sign up and pay to go. Normally, they don't do that. Normally, you have to find a company that you go with. You either work for them or you have friends with them or something like that, right? So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, feel free to go to this site while you're watching the show and let me know if anyone interesting is going. I don't want to sit here and go through all the companies. But you see where it says multiple brands? I don't know what that means. Oh, it does mean there are, okay. So that means companies have got together. They're sharing a booth. So they have a smaller booth. Rather than pay all that money for a huge booth, they're just going to have a small a booth with other companies. So they've teamed up together, which makes a lot of sense, being that the show won't be such a major event because of the current situation. So there's actually a lot of brands going. Gator, Eventide. Look, when I looked on here before, there was a lot of empty booths, and now the booths, there's something in every booth. That's really interesting. Wow. Like I said, I'm getting jealous, but I must not get jealous. I'm not going this time. I'm happy. I'm glad. I think it's a good sign, isn't it? It's a good thing. Yeah, so every booth I click on there. Before there was many empty booths, and now I click on them. Even the ones that were empty, looks like some brands have got together. Maybe I said maybe they got a discount. Maybe they just clubbed together, or they offered them to like club together. I don't know how that works. This one's always here. This big one with Hell Leonard's always there. Yeah, there's a ton. So do me a favor. Go on this map if you're interested in NAMM. Go through it and let me know if there's any interesting brands going. So this one's available. But of all the booths I just clicked through, that's the first one that's available. That's interesting, isn't it? So they're almost full up, which is like a normal year. Really, really cool. I had no idea. That's exciting. That's good. And hopefully I've got a few friends that are going, so hopefully maybe they can give me some info that week when we do the live stream or after. Maybe someone will come on with me and do a chat about what they saw. And we can also obviously go through the YouTube videos and the press releases that are announced at that time as well. But yeah, it looks like a very healthy NAMM show. So that's really, really, really great. I'm pleased about that. I am sad there'll be no Nashville NAMM show because I love going to Nashville, of course. All right, let me go back to the chat again. I'll go to a question. Does that answer your question, by the way? I don't think you can sign up unless you're attending, but you can go through the website and click through all the information on there. So that's the answer to the question. As far as I know, I could be wrong. Okay. David said good advice, and Zane said there's an option for $45 from home online. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. So if you pay the $45 and sign up, then you can access the website. But do you want to? Do you want to do that? What is that going to give you? You know, I think the most important thing of the NAMM time is watching people's live streams and videos and look at the websites and press releases. Like we know the AMP X will be on display, and no one's really seen the latest version of that yet from Thomas Blug. So I'm sure that will then pop up on his website. I'm sure there'll be videos that you can scan through. And that's what I'll do the following Monday. I'll just scan through videos and I'll call some friends who are going and I'll look through the websites and then I'll discuss the products that I find together. I don't think I would pay the $45. I don't think it will give you anything that's worthwhile. But I haven't researched this. I could be wrong. So maybe look on the site and see what that actually gives you, Zane. But sometimes those things, you know, unless you're actually there, it's not really worth it. Can you please give those plants some water? Sure. Thank you for reminding me. 2 years ago, you unboxed a D18. I asked if you enjoy it. I'm going to come back to that question because we've got a lot of Martin fans here. Keeping up appearances. It's all holodeck backgrounds, but I'm closer to John and Robert Baker. Oh, so it's a holodeck background. I get it. So I hear some people do those fake backgrounds. I hate that. Really bugs me. Blue Mountain coffee is preferred, but any coffee will do. You shouldn't really go to a trade show and drink a load of beer if you're a company, a dealer, or working there. That's really not a great idea. Speed relicing. Yes, that's a great idea. The home guitar relic kit from Poo Ninja. Bonus nails included. Zane says, apply for badge on the registration. At the end of registration offers 2 options to attend physically and online. Okay, I know nothing about what they're offering online. The online portion doesn't really... the thing about NAMM for me is that you go there and you see the people, you see the products. It's not like you're going to be able to go on the camera and look around in real time. I think going online, they'll just give you maybe access to some documents. Maybe they'll give you some access to some streams of the presentations they do. Could be worth it. Again, that's really a personal decision. I would say if you want to, try it and then see how it is. Then you'll know next year if you want to do that again. I imagine you can hear a sales pitch better in a hotel room. Exactly, that's why they do it. They have just one-on-one demo of the guitar. You can hear the guitar. If it's acoustic, it's much better. Yeah, that's the funny thing, Zane. I thought, oh, I'm special. I received a personal invitation to the NAMM show. And I thought, hang on. They're just sending these to everybody who's ever signed up or attended or put their email address in because they need numbers. I think that's what it is. $45 from home. Now you've got me thinking, maybe I should do it because I want to talk about it the following Monday on the show, right? Maybe I'll do it, but I just got a feeling it won't give me much that's beneficial. You haven't got to worry about getting NAMM. But yeah, so when people go to NAMM, years gone by, there was a saying, NAMM thrax, as in you get sick. And indeed, a lot of people did get sick. I, knock on wood, I never got sick going to a NAMM show, that I remember. But a lot of people got really, really, really sick after going to a NAMM show. And so then it was difficult, because when we had the NAMM show just before the lockdown, if you got sick after that one, it could have been COVID, right? No one knows, because we weren't testing back then. Nashville over Anaheim. No, I disagree. Nashville is great because it's a great place to then go out and soak up that fantastic music scene. But Anaheim is the bigger show with the big releases, and all the companies are there. The Nashville one is always smaller. But the cool thing is that the Nashville one is next to Gibson there, the Gibson Garage. So that's cool. You can go there as well. Pooh Ninja says excited for Ampex. Yeah, I am too. I think it's a big project. I'm interested to see what it does and how it does it and how Thomas deals with it. I mean, look at the quad. I love this Quad Cortex thing, but they're not updating it. I hope they drop an update, a big update around NAMM for their kind of announcement. But it's such a big project, and they're a fairly big company, and Thomas is a fairly small company in comparison, I believe, unless I'm wrong. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that. It's a big project to undertake. I hope it works out, because a small pedal board amp and a little cab for a cover band gig would be great if it works out. So I'll be looking. That's the thing I'm looking at most intently. Also, because there's not much else around then. And then don't forget about the weeks after NAMM. Like, I can imagine like Fender won't announce a new guitar at the NAMM show, like virtually, but they may announce it 2 weeks later. Because the other problem with NAMM is everyone gets blasted with new products, right? If you do go on a typical time when they're all releasing the big new products, it's kind of overload, gear overload. So some companies this year may wait a few weeks after the show to then release the product, so it's not snowballed, or whatever the word is. The beer helps me spend more money on guitars. Yes, but do you regret them when you wake up in the morning? John says, if you pay me $45, can you also buy a virtual beer? That's right. It's a weird concept, isn't it, John? Pay us $45 and you can attend virtually. I could say, pay me $100 and I'll give you a Taylor guitar virtually. Here you go. Bing. Relic kit includes wire brush, logging chain map. Okay, so this is a good time to talk about this. How do you feel about Relic guitars? That could be today's question of the day. I always like to take a comment that comes up and gets me talking and make it the comment of the day. Last week, I can't remember what it was, but it was a good one. But today it's going to be, what do you think of Relic guitars? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Clearly David doesn't like them. He says Pooh will throw in the matches at no cost. All right, while you do that, I'm going to go to one of the questions on the list. I did one of them already, which is great. So now Lisa's up next. How do you deal with a cold to protect your voice before a singing gig? That's a really, really good question. Let's go through this then. If you get a cold and you have a gig, well, first of all, it might sound really obvious, but I guess it depends how bad the cold is, right? How bad is the cold? If it's a mild cold, like like you're sneezing, or there's a little bit of, I hate to be gross, we have to be talking about colds. If you're sneezing or a little bit of phlegm, of course, with what's going on right now, you should probably just stay home anyway, or at least test yourself, right? We should do that. But aside from that, let's talk physically now. So you've got a slight cold and you want to sing, okay? Even if we're doing a live stream. So let's put that into the context. So we're doing a gig. Of course, when you sing, you want to be, like we said last week, fully hydrated, fully rested, warmed up, as clear as possible, as you possibly can be. Obviously, with a cold, it's going to interfere with that because your nose might be blocked. It's harder to breathe when you're singing. You have to breathe well when you sing. The mucus might find its way into the throat. It doesn't directly go to the vocal cords, but it will be in the throat and the nose and clogging you up. So if it's slight, then what you can do, a good remedy is steam. So you can buy really good steamers on Amazon that cover your face and you breathe in the steam. That will help to get rid of some of the phlegm. And you can obviously drink a ton of water. Drink a ton of water because it will flush it out and hydrate you and help to reduce, also thin out the mucus as well. And then it goes without saying to have a lot of vitamin C, right? If you're in England, it's vitamin. So for Lee, vitamin C, and Rosanna, vitamin C. And if you're in the USA, vitamin C. Take a ton of that. If they say if you take too much, you just release it anyway. You know what I'm trying to say there? So just take a ton of that, take the recommended dose for the day, and then sometimes people double that up. It's hard to take too much. I mean, don't go crazy. I don't take like 10 pills, but take the recommended dose and a bit more. So you're really full of vitamin C. Also get it from fruit and veg as well. Have more oranges, have carrots, and whatever, research whatever has the most and get a ton of that into the system. There's many other remedies as well that you can Google. People talk about echinacea, I believe that's what it is, and a few others. I would just take vitamin C. I would drink a ton of water. I would steam. Knock on wood, I haven't had a cold at a gig in a long time. I used to get them quite often. And there was one gig I did where I had a kind of a cold, and I'll never forget it because it was fine the first night. And this can happen as well if you do multiple gigs. You can find that you have a slight cold and you sing and it's okay. And you think, oh, that was not too bad. I kind of got through it. It's a little bit kind of stuffy, but it was fine. What then happens is the next gig, if you do a gig the next day, I find personally, and of course all our bodies are different, but I find that the mucus has it was here and I was singing. And the next day it's kind of, because I was singing, it's kind of worked its way down. And I actually had one night where I couldn't sing at all because it did get on the vocal, or I felt like it was on the vocal cords or in the throat or something. It meant I couldn't actually make any sound, or the sound was cutting out. So I found that as well. I found that sometimes with a cold, the first gig can be fine, but if you do 2 gigs in a row, the next one can be the real problem because it all kind of moves around. And that's why it's important as well to have a ton of water. I'm doing a gallon a day these days. It depends on your body size. I'm 6'5", so don't, again, you can have too much water. You can kill yourself with too much water. Figure out how much water you should have for your body size. Drink that slowly throughout the day. Take a load of vitamin C. Take it every day, but have double on those days. Sleep as much as you can. Steam as much as you can. Even if you haven't got a steamer, run a hot shower and just go in the room and breathe in that steam. You can also use a pot, boil the pot or boil a kettle and pour it in. Put a towel over your head. Breathe it in. That stuff is great. And that steam, the steam is the one thing that does actually go directly to the vocal cords. Like when you drink water, it doesn't touch the vocal. It doesn't like wash them. It just goes down your throat and into your body. And then when it goes inside you, it obviously the hydration will work its way into the vocal cords and help them out. But when you steam, it actually goes directly onto them and will help to break that mucus down. I could talk about this for a long time. There's many other things. Of course, if you're really bad and struggling, I would consider canceling. I really hate canceling gigs unless I really have to. But I would hate to say, let's just say on a video, I'm definitely not going to say, go out there and do it anyway. I think apart from that one time, I think I went to the gig and my voice just stopped, basically. That was horrible. That's a horrible feeling when that happens. If you play guitar, you could play some instrumentals if you had to. You could invite someone to help. That's a good one. When I have had a really bad throat, hoarse and sore and a cold, those kind of symptoms, I've sometimes asked a singer that I trust and believe will do the gig to the similar kind of standard and song kind of range that I would do. It's the wrong word, but similar songs to what I do, and take them along, and then obviously you would pay them to do the singing. So that's an option as well. It's good to know other singers that kind of do what you do the songs that you do, have the similar, maybe a similar voice to you, might be good. And then if you're booked for a gig, you can say, hey, I'm playing tonight, my friend Kevin. I think when I had some vocal things happening, I took my friend Kevin and he played the drum and sang, and I just played guitar, and it got me through just those shows. So that's good. It's all about backups. And you know what happened last week? I can't believe this happened. I was singing at a very important gig. There were some very important people there, and the microphone just completely died. And I can't believe it. I was singing, and then the mic wasn't working. So I thought, okay, it's probably the cable. But it's a Megami. I don't think it'll be the cable. Maybe it's the pedal. Well, the guitar's going through. Maybe it's the amp, the speaker. Well, the sound's coming through from the guitar. So I thought, is it the microphone? So I quickly switched the microphone. This is really important to have spares for everything. I have a spare mic I usually give to guest singers or speakers when I do a show. So I grabbed it, I threw it on the mic stand, and it worked fine. My Sennheiser E3935 died. So I instantly text the guy at Sweetwater and said, give me another one in the mail straight away, please. I don't want this to happen to the other mic, and I've got no microphone. That would be a similar situation to losing your voice completely at a gig. It's terrible. So I'm very, very disappointed. The week before that, my Sennheiser wireless stopped in the gig. And then the week after, my Sennheiser microphone died. I'm going to email them today to see if they'll do anything about it. But it's a tough one. You hear that the Shure mics are really reliable. I like the Sennheiser, so I've already got another one. But bear that in mind, spares are really important, because I never thought a microphone would die like that. Okay. So that's question number 2. And there's more to that. If you Google that question, even just for how to handle a cold, then you'll get some information. So do that as well. But I hope that helps you. I highly recommend the water. The water's a game changer, and the steam, really important. And if anyone else has any remedies, please put them in the chat. That'd be cool. Lee never regretted anything when I woke up. That deserves a that deserves one of these. Next week I'll have these sound effects sorted out, so I haven't got to keep searching for them all the time. But that deserves a one of those. All right. I understand it's okay. We're talking about relics now. I understand it's already chipped aspect of buying a relic, but if I'm shelling out 1K plus on something, it should be perfect. But what is perfect? What is perfect? I'm weird. Like, I've always liked perfect mint condition guitars. And lately I like relics because I can be a bit freer with them. But the weird thing with me is I feel like if I had a relic here and I chipped it again, I'd be upset. It's almost like, well, Fender reliced it, so that's great. That's from the factory. But if I relic it, that's a damage, you know? Oh, yes, that's a good one from Lee. Zinc is very good for cold. Yeah, take zinc as well. That'll help you get over it quicker. Is there a particular genre you recommend for an organ player using band-in-a-box for gigs? I also do some vocal stakes. Frank, please put your question again with a Q. I'm filtering through the questions with a Q in them. In fact, let me put that message up again, because I just get confused. I apologize. Here. Yeah, I'm just reading that, just so you know if you're new here, because I think you're new here, Frank, and welcome. I go through just read out the comments, and then I go to a question, and I search for questions by the Q. So make sure you put the Q there, like that, okay? Okay, so, because it's so easy to get lost in the scrolling around here. You can't see what I'm looking at, but it can get confusing. Lisa says, thanks for the tips. I have a gig Saturday and hoping to be right as rain. Well, Saturday's good because you've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to go. You've got 4 days. Try to not do too much hard labor and exercise. Try to just rest, drink loads of water, rest the voice. If you want to do some singing, just do some low humming because it helps to break it up. If you do some real I did it last week, right? Just hum and slide down really low as you can go. That humming will start to break up, and you'll get the vocal cords moving and help to move it. But really, yeah, steam and water and sleep will be great. The sauna, yeah, the steam room is what you want. I wish I had if I lived in a building that had a steam room in it, I'd be in there every day. Because, one thing though, don't do all that. Don't do all that steaming and a steam room and then sing, because the vocal cords are too too lubricated and relaxed. But I would love to do that, say the day before a show. I'd go in there and breathe all that steam in, and then the next day go and sing. It'd be great. Patty says lozenges. Be careful with lozenges. Especially with sore throats, what lozenges do is they can numb the pain. And the danger with that is if it numbs the pain and you think the pain has gone and then you oversing, you could actually make it worse. Same with alcohol. Some mouthwashes have alcohol and it can kind of numb the throat and you think, oh, I feel all right today. But it's just the numbness, and then you can oversing. You can push the voice too hard, which is really dangerous. David says, in my part of the world, we have very high pollen throughout the spring and summer. It can feel like you have a cold if you have bad allergies. Yep. Luckily, again, knock on wood, I haven't suffered from allergies like this. I'm sure it's really, really awful and really hard for a singer as well. John said, I relic my guitars by gigging them. If I were selling them, I might consider it. It will be someone else's problem after I am dead. Yeah, you know, it's funny because these comments you're saying are exactly how I used to think, but I don't feel that way anymore. And that's another interesting thing with this gear stuff, isn't it? That you can change your mind over time. And that's something that I've been aware of. Bear that in mind, by the way, when you watch people's videos, because it's happened to me. Like I can sit here now today and say, I love Relic guitars and they feel better and they sound better to me and they look better to me and I love them and I just want Relics now and they have to be Fenders now. And you come back to watch me in 5 years and I'll say, oh, here's my Sir pristine, no, or PRS, no marks on it. I'm going to play it for you. So do bear that in mind. People change their minds over time. Lisa ordered some of the meds. That's good. Or vitamins, I should say. An Onyx Pia is perfect. At least Ibanez say there's no B stock. I don't know what an Ibanez Pia is. Or an Onyx Pia. That can be next week's question. How do you feel about that first chip on the guitar? Can you sleep at night? Oh yeah. Well, there's guitars that should be relic and there's guitars that shouldn't be relic, right? I mean, if we look at this one here, I mean, look at that thing. The thing I have with a guitar like this is, yes, it's perfect. So if it gets one ding on it, it would suck. Like a PRS, they look perfect. So if they get a ding, it sucks. But then again, if the whole thing was relic, maybe it would look cool. I don't know. I'd have to see it. But some guitars are built like Ferrari, like a brand new Ferrari, and you want to keep it that way. And some guitars are more kind of, especially with Fender and Martin, they're guitars from the past. They're guitars that we loved in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. They would look relic if you bought one today. So I'm okay with that. I think it also goes along with the brand as well. So I don't think PRS will ever offer relic guitars. Frank, it's fine. It's fine. No problem. Just retype it and I'll come to it. Jim says, if you've got a cold, stay at home in bed, grab a coffee mug, put 2 or 3 shots of bourbon in along with hot lemonade. Well, that's I haven't tried that method, so I can't endorse it, but that's what we get from Jim. So, you know, try it if you want to, Lisa. Thank you, Bernard Smith, 899, enjoying the chat. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Metal Dude, I'm doing questions as I go through the chat. I'll come back to it. And then Frank. That sounds delicious. So I don't. Is a cold remedy supposed to be delicious? I don't know. Just do the steam. Yeah. So Pooh says about the lozenges. I don't take painkillers. Pain is there to let you know to stop. That's true. That's really important with the voice. Don't forget how delicate the vocal cords are. They're really, really, really delicate. Really delicate. The Steve Vai model, yeah. I love the handles on it, so you can pick it up and walk around the stage. I'm hoping for a Woody Pia in 2023. I'm trying so hard to manifest it into reality. Interesting how we can do that, isn't it? Try to manifest a piece of gear into reality. It's interesting how we do that sometimes. All right, so next question. Oh, are you ready? This is a fun one. John, welcome, John. We've got some new people here. It's great to see you. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you're new here. Two years ago, today, wow, thank you for reminding me. 2 years ago today, you unboxed a D18. I asked if you enjoy it. Okay, let me go to that video because I can show that one, I think, because it's mine, right? So, YouTube. D18 unboxing. Let's see how I looked 2 years ago today and how many views it got. Hi there, my name. Oh, we just mute it. Let's see where we've come with this camera stuff too. This is crazy. Check this out. Wow. Look at the difference in the camera quality now, in my videos now, compared to then, and the backgrounds too. Isn't that nuts? I used to have this mic over here that I've still got that mic on the desk. I used to have that in front of my face. I used to be sitting at the other, I'm in the middle now. I used to sit at the end of the room, and you could see the door and the heater and the AC, and yeah, there's like no indication at all. This is really interesting for doing YouTube videos, because there's no indication at all that I play guitar. There's no guitar hanging behind me. There's no guitar on my shirt like there is today. And yet the video got 44,500 views. Why did it get 44,500 views? It got 44,500 views because it says Martin, first of all. Everyone searches for Martin, especially the standard series. So Martin D18, there you go. That's a really highly searched term, right, on YouTube. And then also, it says unboxing, which a lot of people tell me they hate them, but hey, they get views, so a lot of people don't hate them. I think in the future, I might do the review and then put the unboxing if I have it at the end, so you can watch it if you want to, because some people just want to get to the guitar, of course. I do understand that. And then it says Sweetwater. A lot of people search for Sweetwater because they're an excellent dealer. And then 55-point inspection shipping. So I'm also reviewing that as well to see how that. So there's a lot of information in that title. That's a really good title, isn't it? Because it's got lots of things in there that people will be interested in and would search for. So let me just go through this a little bit. I don't remember what I did. So here I am. I grabbed the guitar. I showed the Sweetwater stuff. Oh, there's an ad. Poo Ninja says, I look all grown up now. Oh, now? Poo Ninja's basically saying that I look old. Thank you a lot, Poo Ninja. I appreciate it. So I'm unboxing it here. Pulling it out of the case. Reading the 55-point information. Also, nowadays, we can put timestamps as well. So if you don't want to watch that part, you can just jump ahead. I don't think back then I was sniffing the guitar. I may have done. I don't remember. But I would now, of course, I'd be sniffing it. And if you want to join the club, you can buy the t-shirt. I got a link at the top of the chat. And I played it here. Let's look at the guitar. It looks nice, right? It's a nice top. It's a nice top. So what John wants to know is, how do I feel about the guitar now? We just go through a bit more of this before I tell you. Do I look younger there? You see, that camera there made my skin look so, it covered up a lot of my, like the light is very bright. I had bigger lights back then, and the camera was not 4K. This is a 4K high quality Sony. That was a Canon, and it was much softer. My face looks softer in there. So what do you think? Do you think I look different there? I don't think I do. I just think the camera now is more high def. I'm dreading when we get 8K cameras because it's going to show every little dimple and line in the face. It's going to be horrible. But anyway, what do I think of this guitar now? Well, I'll tell you, John. So here's the thing. I don't have it anymore. But that doesn't mean I didn't like it. You know, I've been through a lot of guitars since 2015. And I've made a lot of mistakes. Basically. When I say mistakes, I'm saying that to help people that are watching right now. And I also did things kind of backwards. And I didn't know about guitars. I hadn't played them. I think if you're really addicted to guitars, you should go and work in a guitar store. Because that way you can just play a load of guitars, right? I really think that's the best thing that you can do. So I did. The thing is, I did like the guitar. It was very good. It's a great guitar. I have a thing about the mahogany and the rosewood. So I sold that pretty quickly. Even though I really liked the guitar, I immediately thought, oh, I think I want a rosewood guitar. So I kind of just quickly sold it, probably lost a load of money on it, and then bought an HD28. So that's what happened. But like I said, it doesn't mean I don't like, and I'm not just saying this to be some kind of Martin fanboy. I'm not sponsored. I don't work for anyone. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm not trying to please anybody, right? I'm talking very openly and honestly. I do like mahogany. I do like that guitar. It sounds really good. I just like the thought and the sound and even the feel. It sounds weird. I just like the HD28 more than the D18, and I didn't want to have both. I thought it was overkill for me because if I don't want to have too many guitars around. I can't afford to. I haven't got the space, and if I do, I want them to be different guitars, right, or collectible ones that I can keep. I don't want to have a guitar just in the box just because I think it's a good guitar, but I'm not going to use it. So Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It was great. It's a great guitar. It really is. You see, I'm not as keen on like the smaller body mahoganies. I definitely prefer the smaller body rosewoods, definitely. But the D18 I do really like. It just has a different sound. And if I was a famous rock star with a huge warehouse full of guitars, I would definitely have one in the collection because it's a great, drier kind of sound to have. But as someone that doesn't want to have, I don't want to say too many guitars because I have several guitars, but I want my guitars that I have several of to be different, right? Or guitars that I'm going to use, or like I said, or collect. Like the Noel Gallagher J150 is a guitar that I bought to collect and play and enjoy. So I didn't see a need to keep it. But I'm just trying to make sure you realize I'm not saying it's not a good guitar, or in the video I was saying I liked it and I didn't, or I was disappointed. I was not. Sweetwater did a great job with the shipping. I could choose the guitar from the photographs. It was awesome. It sounded great out of the box, which most standard Martins do. I've not had... I once bought a D35 and I thought it just didn't sound good to me. It just really lacked something. And yet I gave it to someone to play to me and I thought it sounded really good. But in the room when I played it, I did not like it at all. And I sold that really quickly. Some of the D... So, okay, there are some guitars, and there are some Martins that I don't like as much as others, of course. But there's some D35s I've tried have not really pleased me at all. I would still like to try more because I still feel like the woods are different in all these guitars. So I never say, oh, I don't like that model at all. I like to try at least like 5 of them to really make that decision. Of course, that's a big job and task to do, but for me, the best Martin I played was the HD28. Even the D28, good guitar for certain styles, but too focused for me. I like the HD28, but I've also sold that since then as well, because I now have something else again. But I can safely say this, the something else again that I have is one of the best guitars I've ever played. And I felt that way out of the box. I felt that way last week, and I felt that way the week after that. So I keep promising this review, and it's not happening because I've got, like last week I played 5 shows. I got 5 shows this week, but now the room is set up and everything's going well. I will be making that review soon. So please, I'm not going to say anymore I'm going to do it because then you'll be let down, but it will come soon. And that guitar I can safely say is the best guitar I've ever played. Is it perfect for everyone? Probably not because of what it is, but it's still incredible. Incredible. But yes, I recommend the D18. Let's just say that. So does that answer your question? I hope it does. And thank you for reminding me that was 2 years ago too. And it's really cool for me to see the video too, because I've come a long way since then. Also, my old videos, people used to tell me the audio wasn't in sync, and it used to really annoy me. I'm like, yes, it is. What's wrong with you? And now I realize it wasn't in sync. I now have a mic delay set up on the camera and microphone. Now my videos are much more in sync than they used to be. So I've come a long way. There I go with a pad on the back, but I don't care. Eddie has a question. Eddie, I'm asking people to put the Q there. And you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to pin that comment right now because it's not your fault. It's the fault that I haven't pinned it up there. So let me do that right now. I need to put it again. Hang on. Text. Questions. And pin message. Yeah, make sure you put that Q colon or just a Q. If you put a Q, I can search by that Q. Otherwise, I'm not gonna get to your question. So let me know that question, Eddie. The best unboxing was definitely the CEO 9, but that was yours. That wasn't mine. It was pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think, what was my best unboxing? I really thought I did. I'm not going to say I did a good job, but I thought the Bill and Ted guitar unboxing was fun, but no one really seemed to care about that one. People care about standard series guitars that they're going to buy. You know, it's interesting making these videos because you realize what people are really interested in above other stuff, of course. John said, my harmonica holder was hanging on the headstock of my golden era D18. See, I bet that's great. I love those golden era guitars. It got bumped and dinged the lower bout, but it still bothers me. There we go. Yeah, a ding will always bother you, but it does fade, like all bad things in life. You know, it does fade over time. I don't mean the ding. I mean the feeling of of hatred that you you dinged your guitar. It's beautiful. Oh, everyone's saying, yeah. Well, you know what? I tell you what, that was 2 years ago, first of all. It was a lower quality camera, which softens the skin, second of all. And third of all, we then went through 2 years of a pandemic. Or I guess we're still in one, right? We went through it. I went through like a 2-year lockdown, basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't get more grey hairs and lines on my face through that. They say my grey hair makes me look distinguished. So what's that shiny hair-free spot on the top? What does that do for me? That's called a crown, isn't it? It makes you a king, Poo Ninja. You're a king. Yeah, Eddie, put your question with the queue below. I'll come to it. Thank you. Oh, thank you, John. Finally, finally. I think you're just saying that to make me happy, but I appreciate it. So I look much better now. Thank you. Thank you. No, now I can sleep. Now I can sleep tonight. Looks like Jeff just left high school. Oh, take me back then. Take me back to those days. Yeah, you see, that's the funny thing that people don't think about. People think, I want to make a YouTube channel. Let's go out and buy the best 4K, 8K camera with the highest quality lens and bright lights. And what happens? You see every... And this is actually a bit... this is a bit soft today because of the setup I have today. When you record straight out the camera, it's really sharp. And you see every little pore and line. And I don't think that's a good thing. It's funny, I see some people asking on the forums how to soften their skin during a chat. It's like, why are you going to do... Let me see if I can do that now. I've got an app to do that. It's like, why you spend all that money? And then it's like people that record in a big studio. They're single, and then they run it through a plugin that makes it sound like it's got noise on it. So, see if this doesn't crash my computer. I have SnapCam. SnapCam lets you put those kind of soft filters on there as well. So anyway, we get the chat is moving so fast. I really appreciate it, but I have to catch up. That's why I need those. Let's see here. That is why I need those cues before the question, please. So, like, for example, soft skin. This is probably overkill, but you can do something like this. Unless it goes yellow, that means it's not working. Ah, it's not working. Fine. Okay, forget that. That's when that thing works, it's really fun, but it doesn't work most of the time. Please fix it, Snap Camera. Please fix it. All right. Poo Ninja's off. Thank you, Poo. See you next time. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Throw a thumbs up. Yes, please do that too. Let's put that in here. Thank you very much. I like the older hairdo better. Really? Wasn't it the same? It did look different, but it's basically the same haircut, I believe. I appreciate your answer. I have 4 acoustic guitars that I play regularly and all different. You have aged very well. Thank you. I mean, it's only been 2 years. Come on, can you imagine if I... For me, it's when you look back at photographs from 10 years ago. That's when you think, okay, I've aged. Tell me more though, John. Why were you asking? Are you looking to buy a D18? Or do you own a D18? What was the reason that you were asking about the D18? Because I don't know. Someone told me off in a comment on that video. They said, why are you buying the guitar to make a video about it and showing it off? Why aren't you just playing it and making music? I'm like, well, why are you watching a video about someone unboxing a guitar and not making music yourself, right? that's when I was kind of getting into YouTube a bit more seriously. So yes, I did think at the time I'll make an unboxing review. That was on my mind, of course, but that wasn't the reason that I bought and made the video. You know, I wasn't thinking, well, if I make this video, I get loads of views. I didn't know. Now in hindsight, I know that those kind of videos get a lot of views, which is cool. But again, it doesn't mean some people now would go out and make a load of videos about that again to get more views. Maybe that's sensible. Maybe I would do that with some things if it was relative to what I'm doing. But I wouldn't like just abandon everything and make those videos just knowing that they'll get views. I wouldn't do that. So, Echo Lounge, hello from Germany. Hello, how you doing? Guten Tag. Rosanna says, I love a good unboxing video. Jasper's here in Amsterdam. Still seduced by the dark side. Archtops with flat wound string. Strong fundamental notes with subtle harmonics. Thank you, Danielle. I think a 5-day beard would be a good look for you. Yeah, maybe. The problem with me is I can't grow a beard. Like when I try to, it just comes in kind of patchy and I can't do it. If I could grow a full-on beard, I think I would do it. Maybe a moustache. If my app was working that I just tried to show you, we could test some out. But yeah, I think it could be cool. I guess it'd be grey now though, right? I don't think I want a grey beard. Who knows? But yeah, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. Okay, Jasper, are you drinking again? Let's get back onto music, please. Come on. Let's not have a repeat of last time with the what was it? The Axe Packs. Come on. Okay, Zane has a question. Echo Lounge says, I'm tired. I got home from basic military training and I'm still wearing my uniform. Before I went to the training, I used to be good at guitar, but now I say my guitar skills are rusty. Well, that can happen, can't it? With anything that we do, if we don't do it all the time, you know, we'll forget it. We'll get rusty. Maybe not forget, but yeah, get rusty because it's all technique. It's all practice. It's all keeping the hands going, coordination, remembering scales and chords and songs. That just takes constant practice. That's why people say it's better to do 10 minutes of playing a day, practice a day, than an hour of practice once a week, right? Okay, then Frank's got his question. Okay, so let me come back to the next question. I want to show you this tuner if we've got time. So the next question was from Old Metal Dude. Hi, Aaron. Have you ever used the LR Bag Session DI? Thanks for the live stream. So I actually have one that they sent me to review and I haven't reviewed it yet. So that's on the list of things to do. Whenever I've used one, I used one in the past and I've used this one briefly. I find it kind of, and the reason I haven't really made the video yet is I kind of find it hard to see what it does. Now, any DI is a great thing to have because even just as a DI that sends an XLR to the console is something is useful than that. But I like that, right? But let me just show you what this is on the screen in case you're not sure what we're talking about. And there's two. There's the original version and then there's the newer version, which is more like a smaller pedal. I like the original version because it has more features. So that's why that's cool. Yeah, so check this out. So despite the feature of having the saturate command and comp EQ, dial and comp EQ, the reason that DI is useful, as we know from previous conversations, is you plug a guitar in here on the right, you then get the XLR output, so you can go straight to the desk with a balanced connection. You get an additional volume and gain switch here as well. So gain to set it up so it goes into like the yellow, not the red. So you can get your level up, especially with a weaker pickup like the Anthem. It's got 48 volt phantom power, volume, a notch. So if you get feedback, you can notch it out. It's got a phase switch. And so all those things alone are good and would be worth it. So all these DIs you can buy will have different features. Like I've done the one from Sun Audio. I reviewed that. That has a lot of EQ, which is really cool. But this one doesn't have EQ as such, but it has the comp EQ and the saturate. So comp EQ is compression EQ. So as you turn that up, it will compress certain frequencies, and saturate will add like that warm saturation you get from a studio console. So it's interesting. And when I first heard about it, I thought, wow, they could just like, it could make my quacky acoustic pickup sound really warm and rich. But it does do that, but I want to do some more testing. And when I make the video of it, I want to do some recording of those tests, so you can listen and decide if you think it's making the change that would suit you. Because like I said, despite having a lot of really good features on it, like the line out, it comes with a nice case as well. For me, the whole point of this one is that section there. So if that isn't something that works for you, it might be worth looking at another DI, because some DIs have different things. Like, for example, they have another DI themselves, which I'll show you. Well, they've got this one, which is the original, the Para DI. So you see with this one, you don't get those saturation controls, but you get low, mid, presence, and treble. You get a lot more options to change your EQ, which is really cool. Then there's the voice print DI, which is the one that makes an IR. And then there's the Old Faithful, which I don't see on here anymore. There's the Align DI, which is just a DI, no extra features. And then there was also another DI which has EQ, which is still around, the EQ pedal, which is basically the same thing, but slightly different. They don't have on here anymore the pedal, I can't see it, where it's basically a DI and a full EQ and a tuner. Oh, what am I talking about? It's right there. What am I talking about? This one right here. In fact, is that the one you were talking about? I apologize. No, you're talking about the session DI. This is the venue. So the venue DI has a bass, a low mid, a high mid, a presence, a treble, a notch, tune for the notch, and gain and volume, and a tuner and a boost. So you see, if they're the features that you want, this would be a better way to go. But the whole point about the one you mentioned, the session, is really trying it, especially with your guitar. But I'll try it with my Anthem guitar. It's about trying it and seeing if it actually adds something to the sound that enhances it in a way that you want to spend the money and buy the pedal. So I will try that very soon. It's on my list. The next question was, from Frank, is there a genre you can recommend for a solo organ player who does some vocals? I use Band in the Box for backing tracks. Frank, I don't quite understand what the question means. So you're using Band in the Box, which is awesome, by the way. Good piece. I can't wait for the new version, the 2020, is it 2023 for Mac? That should be out in the summer. That would be cool. You play solo organ and sing at times, okay? And you make backing tracks. So is there a genre you can, do you mean a genre for you to play in, actually play in, or a genre of the tracks on the software to use? You see, that all depends on what you're playing. So can you tell me in the chat what kind of songs you play? Either the name of the actual song, if it's a cover, or if you write your own songs, like the kind of, like what they're similar to, and also explain what you mean exactly by what genre I would use. That will help me answer the question. Thank you. I'll move on to the next one while you're doing that. Zane says, what's my intake about orange guitars? Orange guitars. Do you mean orange wood guitars? So these guitars, and there's also another brand of guitars as well that's like this. What they do is, yeah, it is this company. I mean, they look fantastic, don't they? They look awesome, as they should do on their official website, but they look awesome. What they do is they have them built offshore, as far as I know, and then they're shipped to like California or the USA. And then they will go over the guitar to make sure it's set up correctly and plays well and everything's fine with it. And then they'll ship it to you. And they don't sell through Sweetwater, they sell through the direct shop. So you click on the shop here. Now, I don't know. I see a lot of YouTubers reviewing them. I'm going to say the problem that I have with that is I've not seen like an actual review from, like, Lisa hasn't made the video to say, oh, I just got this orange wood guitar and I really like it. The videos I've seen have all been sponsored YouTuber reviews, right? And obviously I would, well, not obviously, but I would rather see them reviewed by customers as well. I don't know what to think, honestly. I haven't played one. But what I'll say is they look excellent. They made a really smart decision to put the LR Baggs Anthem in there, because so many companies now are still using the Element, and I don't personally like the sound of that pickup. I like the website, by the way. I like the fact you can have the pickup. Look, you can see the guitar with the pick guard on or off. That's really nice. So I presume they send it to you with it off and you stick it on yourself, maybe? I mean, the price is obviously very good. You know, the guitars that are made offshore now are very good. Despite the fact that I am a kind of brand snob, self-confessed. Some of the stuff we get, like the PRS Silver Sky SE was a great guitar. You know, really well. Well, I had a couple of problems. I ended up sending mine back. I had a couple of issues with it, like the electronics, but that can happen with any guitar. I mean, build-wise, it was really good. And this one, I don't know about the build. Like I said, if I haven't played something, I never really give much of an opinion. But if the guitar looked like this out of the box, and it comes with a hard shell case, many guitars now ship with no case at all. It's kind of crazy. So this comes with a hard shell case. It looks fantastic quality. And it has the Anthem, which is a great pickup. There was some reviews I saw where they said they're not very loud, like they've been overbuilt, and I thought maybe that's the pickup in there as well, possibly, because I'm still kind of undecided about does a pickup affect the tone, whatever. But you can't deny the price. A cutaway acoustic electric, it looks like it's Torrified too, Sitka top with an LR Baggs Anthem. I mean, if you're looking for your first kind of acoustic and you're looking to spend $1,000, you would only be able to go to someone like Yamaha. Like Martin would never sell you a guitar of this quality with that quality pickup for $1,000, right? Or 1,200. But it looks great. I'd love to try one. But until then, I reserve my judgment. So I hope that answers your question. Have you tried one yourself? Let me know. Okay, Frank, would love to hear input about my question regarding drum insertion for an organ player. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean, Frank, so give me some more info on what you're doing. Rafa's here. Had to go to Manchester. What's happening? Were you playing an open mic in Manchester, Rafa? David has the Align version, which I quite like. Oh, the LR Baggs stuff, yeah? Rosanna's got a good question. If you could own any guitar without even thinking of the price, what would you choose? I said I would finish this by the end of the stream, so I better get hurried up with this water. Well, I don't know. I think I'm really into, like for me these days, I'm trying to go straight to the top, right? I don't want to keep buying and selling guitars. I want to go for guitars that are just like, you can't get better. Of course, you can always get better. But in my mind, what's better? In my mind, an original 1937 Martin and an original Leo Fender Series era Stratocaster would be it. And they're going to be $50,000 to $100,000 at least, right? So I guess that would be my answer. Maybe the original, I don't want to say it again, but maybe that original John Mayer guitar, if there was one that was mint, it'd probably be 15 to 20 grand. One just sold yesterday on Reverb. It popped up and it sold for 11K within 30 minutes. Maybe one of those, just because it's one of those guitars that I wish I still had. Would I even play it? Probably not. But yeah, I think I'm all sorted for like a stage guitar because I've got the Cole Clark. I'm pretty much sorted anyway there for guitars, and the other guitars that I might want to check out throughout the year are going to be the more kind of affordable, like standard ones. But if you're saying I could spend any amount of budget on a guitar, then it would probably be an original Fender, an original Gibson, an original Martin. It'd be like those ones. But there's so much money these days. It's nuts. What do you think would be most popular for gigging? Oh, to do gigs, playing organ and singing? Well, if the most popular, it depends. Again, it depends, Frank. It depends where you're playing. You see, what I do is I play songs that I like. I believe it's very important for me to sing and perform songs that I enjoy and like myself. So if you ask me to sing a song that I really don't like, I don't want to do that. And I might have to do that for a wedding or something, but for my day-to-day shows, I'm not going to do that because I feel like it will come across in my voice and I'll look at my looks, right? I won't enjoy it. So I try to do songs that I like. And luckily for me, I like music that other people like. So when I first got a guitar, I was playing Wonderwall and I was playing Breakfast at Tiffany's and I was playing the Beatles, and people like those songs. And it's been that way ever since. So now I'm looking for new material these days. I have to go elsewhere. So I've gone more into country, a little bit of jazz. That's stuff I never would have played as a teenager, but I also am picking those songs that I know the people will know and like, because it makes your life a lot easier. When you play a song that someone really enjoys, then they're going to enjoy it, right? If you play a song that someone's, or even let me change that. If you play a song someone's never heard of before, it has to be a great song where they can enjoy it immediately. And you also have to perform it so well that even though they never heard it before, they enjoy the song. And that the song has to be strong as well. But if you play something like Here Comes the Sun, everyone knows it. Most people like it. And therefore it's easier because as soon as you hit that intro, oh, he's playing Here Comes the Sun. And they'll even sing over, da, 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 they'll even sing over it, which you can even hide what you're playing, right? It's very hard to play. So sometimes I play Tom Waits songs at gigs in a bar. I'll play The Hardest Saturday Night. No one knows that song, not really. So it's very hard to do a song like that. So if I thought you were asking me about what genres to play as an organ player. So I guess as an organ player, you want to maybe choose songs that are suited to that instrument. But if you're asking me what songs to play at like just a gig, then find those lists of the most popular songs and learn those. But make sure you like them as well, and then learn them, and then try them and see how they go down. So like maybe don't learn a song 100%, maybe learn it like 85%, and just try it at a gig or an open mic. And if everyone says, "Oh, that's great," then you can polish it up and figure out the backing track and all that kind of stuff. That's what I would do. Lee says, as I play unusual songs at open mic evening, should I tell the audience a story about the song or just play and sing it? Well, it's all different. So I saw Rafa the other day he's been posting videos of his open mic sessions, and he actually talks a lot. And I really enjoyed that because I was watching him. I think he's quite new to performing and open mics. So I was correct me if I'm wrong, Rafa, but that's what I gather from our conversation. So I was watching him, and he was on the mic, and rather than just get up to the mic like some new performers would do and just play the song, maybe get nervous, he was actually saying hi and telling this song is about, and I like it because you connect more with the person as a person. If you just jump up and play the song, you're a music box, right? But if you get up and say, "Hi everyone, my name's Aaron, and this first song is by Tom Waits," and you may not know it, but it really means a lot to me because I used to listen to it especially if it's a funny story that people can connect to as well. I think they'll really get a lot out of that and really enjoy that, right? So that's cool. But you might have a different opinion. And also, I would always look around the room and think, what is this like? If everyone's sitting there talking to each other, I wouldn't talk. But if everyone's sitting there watching and ready to enjoy the evening, then I would talk to them. I think that's a good thing to do. In the same way they say while people are clapping, you shouldn't just cut them off. If they're clapping, you should let them clap. And then say, thank you very much, I appreciate it, or something like that. Because if they clap, some people do this thing where if they're clapping and they just say, "All right, thank you," and then start the next song, and it's kind of rude because you're kind of cutting off their appreciation for you as well. Zane, I will sell all my guitars and buy a D28 1936. No, I get a 37, but okay. Will you? Well, Zane, I actually thought about doing it myself. I actually thought two things. One, of all the money I've spent and lost buying and selling over the last 10 years, I could have had a big down deposit to put down on a real authentic guitar. I could have done that. So I feel stupid, but then again, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I know now, and I wouldn't know exactly what I want. So that's fine. It is what it is. Like I said, it's best if you work in Guitar Center because then you can try all these guitars. But I also considered doing that very thing myself. I thought maybe I'll just sell everything I own, all my mics, all my amps, I'll just keep the one speaker that I need for my gigs and the one pedal I need. I'll sell everything else and I'll put that money into a guitar. Like you can get them for about 37 grand. So I'll put that in as like you know, again, towards it and then pay the rest off over 5 years. I thought about it, but nah, because not all those guitars are perfect either. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're great, but they're not all. What if you get one and it's not what you thought it would be? That's a huge commitment. So no, I wouldn't do that. All right, let me show you this thing that I got. I want to show you this thing. So here's the Cole Clark that I'm currently gigging all the time because I think it's great. I've got the new preamp in there. And I have added, ooh, just gave it away. I have added this foam here. All right. The reason I do that is because if you take your acoustic and mute the strings and do this, you'll notice that your guitar has a ring, or a pinging sound. So I put a bit of foam under there. And the reason I do it is I would do it on a guitar I record with, but I especially do it on a guitar with a pickup this sensitive. This pickup picks up everything. So I feel like those sounds will come through the pickup as well. So I'm just reading the chat. So I just mute that off with a piece of foam because I can. All right. Now what I've done now, the next step to that is this pickup is awesome, but it doesn't have a tuner built in. Okay. So I bought this tuner and it's really cool. Look at this. Because as you know, I am a stickler for being in tune. I have to be in tune. Not only is it important because my pedal picks up my voice, the guitar from my vocal harmonies and my voice. Also in a YouTube video, if you're not in tune really well, you get a lot of bad comments, as you may know. But this is great because this actually screws in here to the tuner. So what I did was I took the original screw out and I placed that over that hole, and they give you a longer screw, so don't lose the original one. Actually, where did I put that? I better find that one. You put a longer screw through there, and it screws in permanently, and you can then angle it to the position. It looks like you can't see it, but actually, it's because it's elevated, you can see it really well over that tuner when you're tuning. The great news is, from the front, you can't see it at all, which is great. And then on the screen itself, there's a few things I love about this. When you turn it on, there's a big power button. Now, some of these clip-on tuners on the headstock have a really finicky power button that you have to kind of hold for a few seconds. It's really annoying. This one has a raised button, so you can feel it with your finger. And if you press it down hard once, it turns on. That's great. There's no like fiddling around holding it down for the right duration. And then you can't really see it here, but I can see it as the player. And I can also, there's one button to change the pitch of the tuning. There's one button to change the orientation. So you can have like the E either facing you to the side, like on a lot of headstock tuners, or it can be the right way up. So it's upright. So that's how I have it set on here. So yes, the tuners, I'll just explain what's happening here. The tuners are blocking the tuner. Funny thing to say, a little bit, because they're such big tuners, but I can still see it just fine. And I just play the note and I can see it. Now, it's not as accurate as the Petersons. I still prefer the Peterson tuners, of course. They are the best in my opinion. But I find, here's a tip for you. I find these headstock tuners are much more accurate when you play the 12th fret harmonic. So when I do that, it says the B is slightly sharp, so I can detune it. And that's perfect. And that is perfect. That is very well. Let me just test it with the Peterson to confirm that. Yeah, it's really accurate. But you have to tune it from the 12th fret harmonic. That's just these headstock tuners, when you play the open strings, sometimes they don't seem to get they don't lock on. They even might tell you a different note name, which is weird. So just always tune it with the 12th fret harmonic if you get problems. And you're fine. So there's the G. I always tune down and tune up. That's why they say you don't forget to tune up. I would find it faster to tune with the Peterson because it's so fast that I can just play the open string most of the time, but that's fine. This thing is great because it's always on the guitar. It's always there and the viewer can't see it. The audience can't see it, right? So let me try that against the Peterson. It's actually bang on. I'm really impressed. It's exactly in on the Peterson screen. So it's really accurate. It's really, really great and really affordable too. It's fantastic. And it's, don't forget to turn it off, of course. There's a battery in there which you can change. And it's off. One press, it's on. One press, it's off. Done. Now, the only thing is, before I tell you where to buy these, and by the way, they didn't say, I bought this myself. I bought this and I really like it. That's why I'm telling you about it. But the only thing is, you check the back of your headstock, right? You have to have a screw. On the Acoustasonic, the tuners are encased. There's nowhere to put the tuner. You could drill a hole, but I wouldn't advise that. Check the back of your headstock. If you have a visible little screw where it can go, then you're good. And this one looks like it's jammed in there and you can't see it, but you can. It's fine, absolutely fine. But obviously it's not going to be compatible with every single guitar. But if it is compatible with your guitar, then I would highly recommend you put one on the guitar. The only other question I have is long term. It is making contact with the wood with two small pieces of plastic. Will it mark the wood long term? You know what? I don't know, but since this guitar has become my go-to gigging guitar, we were talking about relicking earlier, I don't really care if it does. It's just the back of the headstock, right? As you can see, this guitar is already going shiny and is obviously getting scratched up at the sound hole. I use this for 4 hours a night, most nights of the week, right? So I don't care. And the convenience of having that tuner there at all times is just awesome. I can sit down, quickly tune up, and I can go. I haven't got to think to myself, where's my tuner? Where did I leave the tuner? You know, where's it gone? So that's really, really cool. So let me give you the link to that. You know what? It's $18. Just buy one. Even if it doesn't fit your headstock, just get one because you'll be able to give it to someone or use it for someone else. So that is my affiliate link on Amazon, but you know, whatever. If you click it, just to tell you, as I should legally. But yeah, click that. You can also buy a 2-pack, which are $36.99. The single one is, oh no, my bad. It says $19.99 now. Oh, okay. The clip-on. No. Don't get the clip-on. Get the clip-on that has the screw on it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, it's $17.99. So the one that says, no, that's still a great price though. I mean, the Peterson ones are fantastic, but they're $70. So that clip-free one is $17.99. And make sure you get the clip-free one. Let me just show you on the screen. I don't want you to buy the wrong one. This is it, right? Make sure you buy this one if you're going to get one. So here's a close-up. There you go. So on some guitars, it will be really visible. Like a PRS, it's ideal because it's right there at the end of the guitar. On mine, it's kind of hidden away, but that's fine. I guess actually, yeah, I couldn't put mine in that position because I have a volute. So there's a few like things. There it is on bass. I also don't want that because I feel like the tuner is very close to my hand, although you can just twist it down. You can still swivel it as well. It works on ukulele. And yeah, on this guitar, I love it. I wish it would fit on all my guitars. If it did, I would buy them. Unfortunately, it doesn't, which is a shame. But it's really, really, really a really cool tuner. So I hadn't actually done the test yet where I try it against the Peterson, but it's bang on. I'm really impressed. I absolutely love that thing. So this guitar is now really gig ready. The pickup is incredible with 3 pickups. The latest pickup from Cole Clark. Sounds incredible plugged in. The battery actually died recently, so I put a new battery in, lithium, but I'm using it a lot. It was really cool because the LED flashed at me before the gig, so I knew I had 10 hours left, which is fine. 10 hours is a long time. And when I got home, I changed the battery. And then it's got the tuner as well. And I've also got a sound hole cover coming as well to make it completely feedback proof. So this has become just an awesome gigging instrument. I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, there's not many in the USA right now. I'm hoping that they ship some more over here soon. so we can look at some more of the Cole Clarks, but there's not many around at the moment. So there's the link to the tuner. I really love that thing. Really do. That's a really great invention. The Dario makes some really cool stuff. We'll go a bit later today, so if you have to leave, I understand. Thank you for hanging out with me. David's here. How you doing, buddy? He says, clapping. What's that? I don't know, David. Apparently it's... Sometimes people at a gig will do... What is that? Someone showed me once. A bit... Something like that. I don't know. Hopefully one day I'll find out what that is. Rafa says, I tried to balance it. I try not to speak on every song, but do a short intro, or when appropriate, do that background presentation. Yeah, and I think open mic nights, especially open mic kind of singer-songwriter nights where you have an audience that's sitting there watching the performances, I think it's more suited to that. If you do like a bar cover gig and you talk too much, the owner can get, the manager or the owner can get very upset. I know people that just talk more than they play, and I don't think they like it. And sometimes you don't want to talk at all. Sometimes at certain gigs, I feel like you just want to go into each song, like a CD. CD, what's that? Like a DJ, you know? I knew bands in the past that would just play song into song into song. They will keep people dancing, like wedding bands do that. Jim says, Froggy Bottom, not Mountain. Got it wrong all the time. There is a road to here in Waterbury, Froggy Mountain. Froggy Bottom is the guitar brand, the very expensive guitar brand. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. I enjoy it. I like seeing what you're up to. It's cool. Thanks, Aaron and Jim. I find it fascinating to see what someone's absolute ultimate dream guitar is. So what's Lee's ultimate guitar? The other thing is, did I choose the original Fender and Martin because they are my ultimate guitar, or because they're worth the most money? That's a good question, isn't it? Hey, Brian. The Cole Clarks are the one guitar I've never played. I just haven't seen any in stores. Looks very interesting. Oh, they're wonderful. They're great. They're really great good instruments. But yeah, that's the problem they have. They're distributed by Korg in the USA, but they don't have... Well, before the pandemic, I think they had more stores with them. And now with the pandemic, they just don't really have... I don't see any. Pitbull Audio have some. There's a few floating around Guitar Center. There's a few out there. But bear in mind, there's now a new preamp in them. So if you buy one, maybe look for the one with the newer preamp. Otherwise, you have to upgrade it later on. Or at least one with the battery light. That means you can upgrade it very easily. But if you haven't got a battery light, then it's the older preamp. I'm hoping they ship a bunch over here soon. I'd love to check some more out. I just think they're great. They're great for stage. They're also pretty good unplugged too. Like a lot of people say they sound bad unplugged. I don't think they do. I don't think they sound bad. I think they don't sound like the guitars we're used to hearing. But I actually think they sound very good. So, Lisa, did you see the link? I put it in there, in the chat. It's obvious you intend to keep this guitar. Please tell us about it. Which one are you talking about? The one I haven't reviewed yet? I don't want to. It's going to be a surprise. No one knows what it is yet, so you just have to wait. Just ring that bell, and you'll be notified of future videos. I have the Session DI, and I love it. I've tried DIs upwards of $500 and like the Session. You can always put an EQ out in front of it if you need to. Yeah, you can use it with other pedals, of course. You can use the Session DI with an EQ and a reverb and a delay, make a little pedal board if you want to as well. Okay, I will definitely try that soon. I'll try it with, probably try it with the Anthem and see what it does. And I'll try to record some high quality wave files as well, so you can hear for yourself what it's doing, and then we can discuss, like, if you like what the sound is doing. Zane said, one of the musicians bought Magna and used the Dario tuner and removes the clip and did the same thing. Ninja Tune does the same. Yeah, I reviewed one as well that I got at the last NAMM show. The Klingon tuner. But that's cool. But I like this one because it's always on the guitar. It will never fall off. And it's, as I demoed just then, well, you didn't see the proof, but you have to just trust me. I hope you trust me. if you're watching my videos, but it was bang on with the strobo tuner. That's really impressive. And you know, sometimes it works the other way. So don't test the tuner this way. Don't tune a note with the Peterson strobe tuner and then check it against another tuner. Because if the Peterson gets a bang on the note and then you try another tuner, well, that tuner might be 5 cents out, but shows it as in tune because it's not accurate. You have to tune with the other tuner and then check it against the Peterson. And that was, both of those strings I just tried were exactly on the money. And that's just really, really, really impressive. Because I love Peterson, and even though I'm not saying I would move away from the Peterson tuners that I own, I wouldn't, but I'm so happy with the quality and functionality of that tuner on the headstock. I think Peterson should make one like that as well, and maybe find their own way to clip it on. Of course, the ones with the magnet do mean that you can then use it on any headstock, because the only problem is you've got to make sure your headstock is compatible, like I said. Paul, lots of people here. It's great. And thank you for the new viewers too. You see, Paul, this just drives me crazy. I wish I never mentioned it. Although the reason I really started my channel was to talk about this very thing. But does the Bags LR Bags Anthem affect the sound of your guitar unplugged? Well, I'm going to make a video about this eventually because everyone asks me about it every week. The thing is, it's a fair amount of stuff in the guitar. I don't really care if it adds weight. It doesn't add weight. It might add a little bit of weight. That doesn't bother me. Visually, I don't love the thing in the sound hole, but it's functional. And does it affect the tone? Well, all I can tell you is that I played a bunch of guitars that had it already installed, and it didn't move me. And I've had a couple of guitars where I had it installed and I felt it was different. And I got on this whole thing of, I love that sound. I'd be very happy with that sound for my guitar, but it changes the acoustic sound. And if I'm buying a Martin HD28, I want that acoustic sound. And that's why I then went looking for another pickup on the, that's why I made all those videos, looking for another pickup that sounded like the Anthem, but was lower impact than the Anthem. And I never found it. So to this day, my favorite third-party installed pickup is the Anthem. But does it change the sound? Well, I don't know, because I then made a couple of videos where I tested it directly. I had different saddles made for my Rain song, and I switched them as quick as I could, and I actually felt they sounded the same. And if you ask people on these forums, which is a very dangerous thing to do, of course, but people on forums will tell you, yes, they sound the same. And then other people will post and say, no, it ruined my guitar. So, you know what? I don't know to this day. But I will tell you this. And this is weird. I pulled out I do have like an HDC Anthem Martin guitar. I pulled it out the other day after a few months and I played it and I thought, you know what? This doesn't sound like an HD28. It doesn't sound very powerful. Yes, it sounds great plugged in. That's why I never sold that one. It really is a good guitar. But it doesn't sound as good as just a standard HD28. But having said that, the week before that, before I sold my HD28, I restrung them both and I did a blind test. And initially I couldn't tell the difference, which is really interesting. Although I then did a blind test again a few weeks later, and I felt like I knew which one was the Anthem, and I was right. So the truth is, it drives me crazy because here's the thing. There's not a big enough difference for me to say, yes, it definitely does, even after 8 years. So what does that tell you? But if I have to be completely honest and really think to myself about this, yes, it has made a difference to me. Was it psychological because I saw that thing in there and thought it's effect? I don't think so. It happened to me a lot of times. Also, does it depend on the guitar? Possibly. And the installation? Yes. Because one of those installations I mentioned was not done correctly. Make sure the installation is done exactly by the book and speak to Bags if you need help. But I think the problem is with like a really high-end thin top guitar, yes, I do think it makes a difference. But I'll be really interested to know what you think. If you're going to install it, please, please, please let me know. Say hi at aaronshortmusic.com. Please let me know if you think it changed the sound of your guitar. I'd be really interested. And bear in mind, like when you have it installed, if the installer then takes the saddle too low and then puts the neck too much relief, that can also slightly change the tone of the guitar as well. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's that the guitar is then differently set up from the installation. Maybe it's not the stuff in the guitar at all. But my final words on that really are, when people say, what pickup should I put in my acoustic guitar? If you play every night, get the LR Baggs Anthem. If you've got some extra money, buy another guitar. Buy 2 guitars, either the same model or different model. Have one as your stage guitar and one to play acoustic. That's what I've done now. I use the Cole Clark on stage, or I'd also use the. I was doing some testing yesterday. I'd also use the HTC 28 Anthem. I'd also use the Acoustasonic. They sound the best to me, those 3. So that's what I've done. I've got just the guitar with the pickup, the Cole Clark, fantastic pickup system. And I've also got my Martin with no pickup. And I'm never going to modify it at all, unless someone comes out with some revolutionary new thing. I'm never going to touch it. I'm going to keep them separate. I'm not going to try to find one guitar that does everything, because it's impossible. It's a compromise. It's impossible, right? It's like trying to find an acoustic guitar that sounds like an electric guitar. So that's where I'm at now. But if you have one guitar and if you gig all the time, you want the best kind of plugged in sound from that third-party system, I have no hesitation to say put the Anthem in there. It's incredible. If you plug in every 6 months and want to pick up in your guitar, do open mic every 3-6 months, maybe get the K&K, but you're gluing it in, it's hard to remove, or just use a really good soundhole pickup. That's what I would do. But yes, I that's the conclusion I came to after all those years of searching. Brian says, I've been using these exact tuners last 2 years. They're great and very discreet. A classic. Yeah, they're awesome. They're just a great product if they fit your guitar. David said, open mic nights where people get 3 songs each, shut up and stop taking time from others. Well, that's true as well. If you do an open mic, don't talk to... Yeah. So the thing about that is, the open mics I've been to, there are these kind of open mic hogs that will do this thing where they get up and they say, okay, you've got 3 songs. Okay, so... go. All right. So, hi, my name's Aaron, and I'm going to play some songs tonight. And I come from Louisiana, and I'm going to play some Beatles. And it's like, okay. And then, okay, 5 minutes later, right, so here's my first song. And not only is it their first song, it's their first song where they repeat the chorus and double the solo and repeat the outro 5 times. And then it's been like 10 minutes. Okay, so for my next song, I wrote this one myself, and I wrote it about, and then the song is 10 minutes, and their 3 songs turn out to be 45 minutes. Now, we all know that kind of thing, right? So some open mics also have a time limit for that reason. So they'll say you either get 3 songs or 10 minutes, whichever is shorter, right? Or longer, whatever. Next question. Is the stomp box a bit too much, or do you like it? So I've been using the stomp box for the last month, and I love it myself. It's better through a bigger speaker because you get the low end frequencies. It's not as good through those small house systems. But I stopped using it at one of my venues because they said that I'm too loud. So I stopped using it, because the problem is this volume thing is a whole discussion. But to quickly condense that down, when you sing and play, you have a volume, right? When you loop and then add the harmonies from the pedal and the drum, obviously the volume will jump up unless you're using compression, and I haven't been using it. So I'm actually going to, at that place, I'm actually going to start using in-ear monitors, I think, from tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to try these in-ear monitors for the first time, straight from the Play Acoustic, and that way I can have a good volume in my ears, both level, and then they can control it, and they can have it as loud or quiet as they want to. And I think that will be a really cool thing. So when I'm doing that, I could use it again, because I'll hear it well. And again, they are controlling the overall volume. But that's the danger when you use loopers and harmonies and drums. If you go from just finger picking and singing and they set the level, and then you go to strumming, they might turn it down thinking that you're louder, even though you're not. And this is an example, by the way. I know you can level it out with compression and volume settings, EQ, whatever. But then you might add the loop. If you add like 3 loops and start going crazy and banging on the guitar, they might think, oh man, he's too loud. And they'll turn you down. So then what happens on the next song, it's too quiet in reality. So those drums and the harmonies and the loops, bear that in mind when you use them. But that's a really good drum pedal. You know what? I do this live stream, and I'm just basically talking about all the things I should be making videos about. And I definitely will when I have more time. But that is a good drum pedal, yes. The Wild Dog Pup I have. And the Pup is also smaller for my bag. You can get a bigger one that has a bigger bass sound. So I'd probably get that one if I had a car to go to gigs with. Lee's dream guitars are the John Martin D28 and the Alice's restaurant guitar. Good choice. I mean, I could have said Jimi Hendrix's guitar. I could have said Paul McCartney's. I could have said John Lennon. You know, yes, of course. I find very small changes will change the sound response of specific notes. Tape a nickel or two to your bridge and you'll hear the change, but listen to attack and sustain. Well, even if you get the guitar, even if you strum a chord and then rest the side of your hand against the top of the guitar, that drastically changes the sound. But having said that, if that changes the sound that much when you're just playing anyway, surely if you play with your arm against the guitar and put an anthem in and say, well, it's changing the tone, maybe just releasing your arm from the guitar will give you a lot of that tone back. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. There is no answer. I don't know the answer. I wish I could do a scientific experiment to figure that out. When Phil McKnight reviewed, I think Phil McKnight reviewed an Orangewood with the anthem and mentioned the guitar was a bit quiet. I post on there, maybe you should do a test. I actually, because he's a guitar repair guy, I was actually hoping that he would take that out of there and do a comparison himself. Because obviously the more comparisons we do, the better. Especially if we can get someone to do a real scientific comparison and show the EQs and things. And some people say it's feel as well. I don't know. I think a lot of it is psychological. I think a lot of it is in the brain as well. Like just knowing there's this stuff in your acoustic guitar. I really do think so. It'll be interesting if in the future they make a new one and say this one releases more of your guitar's tone. Because whenever I ask people about this stuff, they always just say, oh no, of course not. Right, so it'd be interesting to see. It's a bit of it's something that I don't really like talking about because I don't really know, and no one can tell me. Some people say it doesn't at all, and some people say it does. So we can find out together. If the original, if the person that asked that question, I mean, do it. It's a great system. Let me know, please. Let me know what you honestly think. I'd be really interested. So he says, Mike, that's a time-based, 15 minutes of performing, regardless of whether you want to do, right? So if you're only halfway through the song at 15 minutes, you have to stop. Zane says, best ever thing I had in my guitars are Ella Bag's anthem pickups. Yeah, but I'll just say this. I have never, and I don't know if it's psychological or not, I've never owned a guitar with the anthem that I thought was incredible unplugged. And that's why I have these doubts. I've owned a guitar with Fishman pickups that sounded incredible unplugged. I had the F1 system. That is a very thin undersaddle and some things on the side of the guitar. I thought it sounded as good as any HD28. I've never owned a guitar with the anthem that I felt rang out like a guitar without it. And that, to me, that says a lot. And that's another reason why I decided, you know what? Fine. I've got an HDC anthem. Sounds great. I'll use that at gigs. Sounds okay. It doesn't sound... I don't like when people say it ruined my guitar. That's a very kind of out there statement, right? But I just feel like the ones that don't have it, they just have a bit more ring to them, a bit more openness to them. And I like that. I'm always looking for that, right? So yeah, that's why I've just decided the last 6 months, and I wonder if this will continue or change. I don't know. But my decision was, you know what? I'm so tired of trying all these pickups, being let down. I'm tired of spending all this time and money, although it made some good videos, I guess, and did help some people. But I just got the point, I loved the anthem from the beginning. I went looking for something better. I never found it. You know what? Then I found the Cole Clark, and I was like, oh, this is, I would say it's a different sound of the anthem. I'm not going to say it's better or worse. It gives me some features that I like the body sounds are really rich, and you get all the scraping because the guitars are satin, although of course you could put the anthem in the satin guitar as well. But it gives me all those controls on the side as well, and also gives you. It's really cool when you unplug the jack, it doesn't pop. It's just like designed for the stage. I thought, you know what? When I play a gig on stage, I want to take that. And when I play at home, I'm going to play a guitar with nothing in it. So even if it doesn't affect the tone or sound, I know in my head it doesn't. Because a lot of the stuff with me is in my head. You know, I get like that. I get like, oh, I want to buy another guitar because it does this. Or, oh, my guitar doesn't do this. Or my pedal doesn't do this. A lot of it's in my head. And I try something else and realize I was wrong. So my way to treat that was just to say, use that one at gigs. Use that one at home. Have the rain song if you're going to play it in the rain, right? Have a thing for its job, right? So that was what I decided to do. But I'd love to know from people in the chat. I'd love, especially going forward, if you try some Anthem guitars, let me know what you think. And maybe one day we will do a scientific experiment, or maybe one day I'll convince like Phil McKnight to do one because he's got the abilities at his shop to do that. Have I got lots of gigs this week? Yes, I'm playing tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and a wedding on Saturday. So another 5 in a row. That's why I didn't go live yesterday. My voice wasn't, so we spoke about voice care last week. My voice wasn't hurting yesterday, but I just knew I'd just done 5 and I've got 5 this week. So I just knew that I should rest it. So I actually didn't speak at all yesterday. We were talking about vocal care last week. If you do a ton of singing, I think the best thing you can do is just to not talk and drink water. Don't talk, don't make a sound. Because the minute you make a sound, the vocal cords are working again. So if they do get inflamed and a bit red, if you don't talk at all, they've got time just to heal. And you could take Manuka honey, you can steam, you can drink water, of course, that's all great. I did it more as a precaution thing. I don't want to have any problems this week because some of my gigs are very new still. I feel like I'm proving myself or hanging on to them, you know, whatever. I'm trying to make sure I go there, I dress well, I play well, like Rafa's doing. I want to make sure that I keep the standards high. So I just wanted to completely rest my voice yesterday, and I think I might do the same next week. I just have to put those first, of course. You know, that's my job. So I apologize for not being here yesterday, but I'm glad we could hang out today. I love these live streams. They're awesome. I'd love to do more. I think we will do more if things open up for me. I know you're not a big fan, but doesn't the K&K Mini make the acoustic sound like a true acoustic? What, plugged in? No, I don't think so. I think it sounds better than an undersaddle pickup, because with the undersaddle pickup, you get the very direct kind of, I hate that word quack, but you know, quacky sound. With the K&K, you get a more rounded sound. So that's great. But also, sometimes I like that attack. So the great thing with the Cole Clark is you can blend, but it's got all of them. You just blend between them all. It's got a great sounding undersaddle. It's got a great sounding body sensor, and it's got a great sounding microphone. So the microphone isn't kind of like in the Maiden. It's not like having a big mic. It's not a big mic sound like a mic in front of the guitar. It just they shelve each one off. So the mic will just do the very high frequencies. So I find if I put it on the undersaddle and then add the mic on maximum, you get a very nice sounding undersaddle sound because it hasn't got that kind of harsh high end. It rounds it off. But then sometimes I want that. So if I do, I can dial it back and I get that back again. And then I can bring in the body sensor and that gives me more body sound, more mid-range. And then I've got the 3-band EQ to further shape those sounds as well. It's really, really cool. And the K&K is just a passive pickup, right? You have to use a preamp to shape the sound. It doesn't have the other pickups unless you get the ones that have the other systems. They do make those systems with the 3 systems. At that point, I feel like why not just get an Anthem or something, because you've got all those things in the guitar anyway. I love how minimal the K&K is, but the sound isn't right for me. And also, when I first had it installed, I had so many feedback issues because it's only picking up the sound from the top, and the top is so resonant. And the other good thing with the Cole Clark is they use it. So people say they don't sound as good as Martins, right? Well, it depends which one you get, because they make ones that are like Martins with the traditional American woods. But the one I have is all blackwood, and blackwood is really stiff. So what that means is it doesn't resonate very much. So you get less issues with feedback. I still have issues with feedback. I can have issues with feedback with any guitar, especially sometimes it's just where the speaker is in the room, right? If it's in the corner or something. And that's why the sound hole plugs are really good. Actually, I must make some of these for sound hole plugs. But I just love the versatility. I just love it. So that's why I like that. And the problem I have with K&K is, as good as it is, and I had some great results in previous videos running that through IRs and the voice print DI. At the end of the day, you're gluing something in your guitar, and I find that very permanent. So if they made a K&K you could stick in, I would be more inclined to have that in a guitar for certain applications. But no, it just doesn't give me enough flexibility. And I find that the soundboard pickups don't have a direct sound. I like that direct sound from the guitar. I like that punch, you know, and that's what you get from an undersaddle pickup. People here tend to be respectful of the rules. Yeah, they stick to the time, right? Well, it does. You have to drill out the end pin, which is not a problem. You can use the mini jack, the vintage jack, which is a mini jack, so it doesn't look any different. But then you're gluing it in. I just don't like that thought of gluing it in myself. Because if a new one comes out in the future, you then got to take the glue out of the guitar, sand it down, then you've removed some wood from the guitar, you know. But hey, a lot of people use them, including one of my good friends in the UK. So I'm not against them. They just don't work for me, I've decided. Who? I thought you left, no? Got to pay the bills. Yes, you do. Do you agree a condenser mic is easier on the voice? Picks up so much. Yeah, it picks up more sound, but that can be a bad thing as well. Because talking about feedback, if you're singing through and a monitor's facing you or beside you, like when I choose microphones that pick up a very narrow pattern, and I eat the mic, I sing right into the microphone, and that really works for me because the sound that's coming at it will not feed back. So if you have a microphone that's very sensitive, like the NAMM, actually I dropped mine the other day. This is a condenser mic. Yeah, I dropped it and I want to see. So talk about dinging stuff. I dinged my NAMM microphone. It fell off the stand. I bought a new stand now that holds it better because I dropped it and it just really annoyed me. But you can buy a new cover, so that's probably what I'll do because I wanted to keep this nice, you know. But anyway, I wouldn't use this at a gig, I don't think, because although it's got quite a narrow pattern, it's still a condenser mic. Some condenser mics are very sensitive, like you said. It's fine if you're playing in a quiet room with no monitors and an audience that's listening. If you're trying to get the most sound before feedback, I'd rather use a mic that only picks up a very narrow pattern, and I'd plug the sound hole of your guitar because that just gives you the least chance of feedback. I mean, when I have that sound hole cover in the Cole Clark, it's going to be awesome because there'll just be very little chance of any kind of feedback, even though it's got 3 pickups and a microphone in there, or 2 pickups and a microphone, because a microphone technically isn't a pickup, I suppose. All right, we better wrap things up. I didn't finish the water, but I did pretty good. So yes, it's a good place I'm in. I maybe I'm being bad, but I have a lot of things to make. I can make videos about. Now I've got the new background. I think I will be making more videos. I'm good to go now. Yes, I had some things going on in my life. I had to sell all that gear, and I've sold a lot of gear. I've downsized a lot. I feel great. I don't like having too much stuff. I thought I did, but actually when you are limited on space, or even when you're not, I find it can get a bit kind of claustrophobic. Also, I probably got too many things, so I'm enjoying being better off in that way as well, which is obviously very important when you're an adult. So things are good. But yes, having said that, I do have some of the pedals we mentioned today that I haven't shown yet. So I will try to get video out. But like I said, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to make any promises because I have these shows coming up. And if you're doing shows yourself, you know the most important thing to do is to learn new songs. Because what you don't want to do is keep going back week after week and playing the same songs. And then people get bored of you. Then they're going to look for somebody else, no matter how good you are, right? Thank you, Jasper. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. It's been a good day today. Good chat. I'm going to say goodbye. I'll definitely see you next Monday, if not before. Who knows? Like I said, now the room is set up for the background and everything. I'm very happy about that. So I will just let you know. The best thing you can do is to subscribe and ring the bell and turn on notifications. That will tell you if I do something. So that's really the best way you can be discover if I do something new. So please do that. And have a good day, a good night, wherever you are in the world. And I'll talk to you next time. So until then, goodbye. And let me know next week if you bought any guitars or installed any anthems. Thank you.
Meet me at the station at midnight. dress and your smile. You look just like this other girl I knew. She was beautiful. And if you want to, maybe we can stay